Into another episode of Cut Ups. We're on episode 13.1, Michigan versus Iowa film review. We're going to go through the first half today. I know we got a basketball game going on at 9 p.m. tonight, so we'll try to go quick, get you out of here before the basketball game, although you probably would rather watch the Michigan Wolverine football team compared to the basketball team at this point. That's why I'm here. All right, third straight Big Ten title. Sleeper of a game. I'll tell you that much. And I don't want to get into the whole like Florida State discussion today. I feel like that was pretty well covered from Josh, Trevor, and Brock on the Hail to the podcast earlier this week. So I won't address that. The one thing I'll say, Florida State without Jordan Travis is like an accelerated version of Iowa. Okay. And the committee didn't want to see an Iowa-based team in the playoff. They just didn't. Florida State is an exceptional defense. Offense is struggling to find points. Game would be a slog, whoever had them in the playoff. And great defense doesn't sell. Iowa's a punching bag. And obviously Iowa's offense is abysmal. So, but when you're trying to consider why was Florida State left out, like they deserved it, I agree with you. I think it's a pretty poor standard, and the playoffs changing, right? So you can say like, okay, they didn't set a standard, whatever. It's abysmal that you have a 13-0 conference champion in Power 5 conference not making the playoff. But I also kind of get it from a ratings perspective. Watching elite defenses with horrendous offenses, it's a struggle to watch. It's not great. And a lot of people who aren't really into football will think it's a slog and will probably turn it off, right? So the other thing I'll mention before I get into this game, I don't know what I'm saying. Phil Parker, defensive coordinator, won the Broyles Award, right, for the best assistant coach in America. It's a no-brainer. Never in the history of football has there been a better defense matched with a worse offense or vice versa. It's crazy. So he has deserved that award in years prior. Nothing showed the disparity between an elite unit and a horrendous unit more than this Iowa team. They don't get to probably 6 wins without this defensive coordinator. So straight up, he deserved that award. And Sherman Moore probably deserved an award as well. But give Phil Parker, I think that's his name. I'm probably disrespecting him by not truly knowing his name. But anyway, okay, let's get into it. Again, we're going to try to keep it an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. But let's get into it. This film session is for the true sickos. Welcome, sickos. We're here for it. Let's do this format. I think I actually need to update the brand here. Let's update this. This is Cut Ups. There we go. Okay, let's get into it here. Here we go. Any day now. Come on. Uh-oh. Is it frozen?
Iowa starting from the 25-yard line. Caleb Johnson in the backfield. Play fake. And he'll drop it off. Now,
I mean, this is kind of where the game started, right? Where I was expecting, like, yeah, they're going to do a bunch of rollout, and this is about the best it looked like all game. Michigan was able to drop into a zone, and them running this is all you need to know about Iowa. They're running a down block here and then releasing late with 87. Watch the eyes here of Barrett. He's locked in. He's not sold by this. He's not going to overreact because he knows he has backside help here. He's going to stay home. He's going to keep his eyes here on 87 and watch 87 leak out here after the block. There he is, right? You want to catch that ball? Okay, right at the line of scrimmage. The ball is not accurate. If we go back, this ball is a little high. You're not able to cut up the field. But even if it was, look where you got it, right? You got Mike Barrett right there, perfect tackle, boom. And right away I was like, they're in trouble because they're testing Mike Barrett here, one of the best linebackers in the conference, on this little leak play, expecting him to not be locked in on his assignment. So to start out with this play, I don't know. You're testing Michael Barrett, a 6-year senior leader of the defense with Mike Sainer still, obviously, and that's your first approach. I don't know. So anyway, just wanted to show that because Mike Barrett had another terrific game, but I think I have probably like three or four bad defensive plays in total. All right, so 3 and out for Iowa. They actually might have gotten a first down and out, but anyway, we're back onto offense already. So not much to say about the defense. There's a lot more to say about the offense. So I think this is going to skew more heavily towards the offense in general. But anyway, let's get into the offense. First drive for Michigan, 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 at the 35. Corum again, trying to pick his way forward. Not a lot of room.
This shows the excellent play of the Iowa linebackers, the back 7. And anything except for the defensive line, really, for Iowa is exceptional, one of the best. And this just goes to show how sound they are in their assignment. Iowa is just incredibly sound here. So you do have an issue with numbers here in the box because you only have 5 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 being added here. Okay. So I do think the double could have been a little bit better here. And what I mean by that is I think the target for the double should be different. And I think that's on your center here because we have the double team between guard and center here. And then your center is releasing out to this player right here. Think of how different this play is if you double here and then you release to the middle linebacker because you got one-on-one blocks here, one-on-one blocks here. So then this is the only unblocked player. And if the play is supposed to go in one of these gaps, this is a lot more traffic for this defender to work through if you get to the middle linebacker here. That's not what happened. That's not what happens. You got 60 there. Nugent working with Barnhart, and then he releases out to that edge player. Instead, if he just helps here, just give a little bit of a shove, help, and then release here, leave this guy. Because right here, you got a lot of options here for Blake Corum if this is blocked. So that's how it happens. And I don't know whether that's a misread from Nugent or something, but they're leaving that middle linebacker, and that's exactly where this play is supposed to go. So the defensive tackles are keeping their eyes open here. If you're looking at the arms here and what gaps these guys initially have, he has this gap. You can see his right arm. He's looking this way. His head is in this plate or this backside B gap. 45 has the outside. So this doesn't look like an initial good option just because of where this guy is leaning. So I think that's what Blake Corum is looking at. Like, hey, there's a potential gap here. I need to fool this linebacker to get over here, and then I need to cut back play side here. I think that's what the goal is. But look at that linebacker. He recognizes that he has a defensive lineman who is shading this way, right? He has this responsibility. 45 has the outside, and he has this play side A gap. That's his responsibility. So he doesn't get deterred by slightly losing Blake Corum. He stays in his responsibility. He doesn't abandon that. So then when Blake Corum drops back into that hole, he's there. That's just good defense. And then it's good shifting from 45 as well. 45 had the outside. Once he recognizes that's no longer a threat, then he shifts back to the inside. So you have your linebacker covering that gap. You had this defensive tackle covering this. Once the outside was covered by 45, he shifts back inside in case the running back did come through here. So this is just sound defense, and that's what makes Iowa special. They wrap up extremely well. They don't get sold on little deeks in the backfield that you see 90% of other programs fall victim to from a guy like Blake Corum. They trust their assignments, and they fly to the ball. They wrap up well. There's not a whole lot of yards after contact against these guys. So give them credit. Give them credit. They play sound football, and that's what you need to do against this Michigan team if you want any sort of success. All right, moving into 3rd and 4 here. Third and 4. Come on. Any day. Any day.
7 in the backfield. Great catching it out of the backfield. Here's McCarthy, steps into his throw.
Why is that so choppy? Sorry, guys. Let me try that one more time.
7 in the backfield. Great catching it out of the backfield. Here's McCarthy, steps into his throw underneath.
Big third down play because you're struggling early on, moving the ball, getting the ball into J.J. McCarthy's arms here. You got great pass defense with Iowa. Just find that soft spot in the zone. Nothing special here. Nothing special. This is an in route. Looks like you have cover 4 for Iowa. Or at least, sorry, probably cover 2 because you got deep half, flat coverage. And I'm not sure exactly what these guys are looking at, but something over the middle here for the linebackers. So this guy drops back into the seam curl, and these two guys are taking over the middle here for anything like this crossing route for Colson Loveland. So because this guy is flat, you got the two safeties dropping back. There's going to be a hole here, and this hole is exactly where Barner is going to be sitting here. And that's exactly what he does. He sits right between here. You have this little sit route here for Colson Loveland going to occupy this. That's going to create this little seam, this little entry, this window, I should say, for Barner on this in route. And that's exactly what J.J. McCarthy finds. So it's a good job from him. Ball's a little low, but that's okay. Delivers it to a good spot. We look at the pass protection here. It's not great. Henderson gets taken for a ride. Lucky that this didn't trip up J.J. McCarthy. So Ladarius Henderson needs to do a better job on the left side. He just gets blown back, doesn't have a solid base, and almost takes 13 into the quarterback. Might be a little bit of a late hit there. Rest of the job was okay on the offensive line. Not terrible. But, yeah, Henderson can't be getting blown back into the quarterback like that, especially not against Alabama, right? Shadyville is JJ going to need to run 10 times against Alabama. Do what Auburn did. Peyton Thorne, and they had a backup quarterback, right? Get that orgy package lined up. I think that's the path, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about Bama later on. All right, 3rd and 6 here. Got empty set, bringing Edwards back into the backfield here. Come on, why are we so slow today?
Donovan Edwards.
Man, what's going on? Sorry, guys.
Donovan Edwards motions. They give it to him. He follows his blocks, looking for that first down, and he gets clocked.
There's a lot of hesitancy on the outside from the blockers, especially for the tight ends. It was really weird to see. And to me, it's something where you need to be a little bit more patient if you're Edwards here, but you need to just get this timing down if you are Barner, A.J. Barner, usually an exceptional blocker. I mean, a couple issues here. Roman Wilson doesn't hold this block. So this guy works inside. That takes up Trent Jones. Trent Jones is supposed to be – this guy is supposed to be taken out of the play. So you have Trent Jones leading up this way, and then you have Barner as well. With this, I expect Barner to take him because you expect your tackle to be slower than your tight end. So I do expect Barner to be getting upfield a little bit more. He's just a little slow. I don't know why he's so hesitant here. He was on the initial path here, right? But then just continue on that. He for some reason just slows down and kind of peters out. And this is all about timing. Everyone's going to be flowing to this play. Everyone's coming downhill. When it's 3rd and 6, you need to get out here. So this is primarily on Barner. If he goes out and just forces this guy to either make a decision or just block him, right? Get upfield, force this guy to either go outside or go inside, and Donovan Edwards can just follow behind him. The issue here, Barner never forces that decision from that defensive back. He never does. And that is what Donovan Edwards, he's run out of time here. Now, do I think Donovan Edwards should have been a little bit more patient and gotten behind Barner? Possibly. But there's no reason for Barner to not continue on this path here and force this guy into a decision, either inside or outside. And that provides a key lane here for Donovan Edwards to get right here, say, and then he can cut outside or inside based on this guy's decision. But because of how slow this is, Edwards just has to make his decision, and this guy is able to immediately impact that play, and then you have other safeties coming down. So no reason to not work upfield there. And then Roman Wilson just hasn't been the best blocker at times. If he stays on this, that gives more of a clear path for Trent Jones to work upfield against this safety. But it starts with Barner. Barner needs to get up there, eliminate this. If you get these blocks, right, stay on this for Roman Wilson. Trent Jones is able to continue up and take on this safety, and Barner continues on this path to pick up this corner, or at least force him to make a decision one way or the other. You got a lot of room here. So I know that Edwards is frustrating in this regard. Like, he's been frustrating to watch, but the blocks need to align for him as well. And they're just not in some of these key plays. So you end up short here. Michigan's going to end up going for it. They get a false start, I believe, and they go for it 4th and 7. Man, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so slow today. Come on.
Remember McCarthy. He's a terrific runner. They snap it to him early. McCarthy delivers.
Gutsy play, right? And if this isn't against Iowa, maybe you're not going for it here. You are in the 36. You're in pretty much no man's land. So this is the one area where like a 4th and medium is worth looking at. This is a weird time snap. Seems like that JJ McCarthy was pointing out this safety coming down. The safety came down. Snap was really quick. So good job from JJ McCarthy while he's still pointing to get the snap and be like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. And this is just a good route. First read, soft coverage on the outside. 30 is not getting out there quick enough. And this is a good route. Really good route. I think it's really difficult to see these full strides for Cornelius Johnson and not scare this defensive back to really get back deep. Really good job gearing down right here. Look at that gear down for Cornelius Johnson. Throws pretty much on time, about as good as you can expect. I mean, it could have been a little bit sooner, and I think it's a little bit late reaction here out of this defensive back. He should have been reacting a little bit quicker, but well-placed ball, right? Get low, get to the ground, accomplish the 10-yard gain, and move on. Cornelius Johnson had a fair number of catches. I don't know the exact number, but none of them really went deep. But he's been good the last couple of weeks. So give him a lot of credit there. Because his first read, pass protection isn't a whole lot here. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Trent Jones got beat a little bit on the edge. Edge rusher coming off here. Trent Jones needs to get a little bit better than he actually did here. But that's just a first read. Good catch, good delivery, pick up the first down. Now, Michigan wouldn't do anything with it. It's 4th and 1. I think this was when Nugent went out and Michigan decided, you know what, we're going to take the points on 4th and 1. And this ended up being the game-winning points, right? Like, this was the game-winning points right here from James Turner. Weird thing to say, but this is it.
Good snap.
What is going on with my application? I'm sorry, guys.
Good snap, clean hold, got it away, and pure.
I know I said it last couple of weeks, but how great has James Turner been? He's been phenomenal. Tyler with the question, was it lack of effort from our guys? Consistent effort by our guys? I don't think so. I think it takes a lot of things for this Michigan offense to run really well, more than other offenses. If everyone is clicking, if everyone is doing their jobs, it's damn near impossible to beat this offense. And there was always just one thing off, whether it was a couple bad drops from the tight end, JJ McCarthy being a little bit off or a little bit hesitant. Running backs were missing a couple holes here. You saw some very uncharacteristic missed blocks like we saw from Barner. There's one from Bredesen later on in this game that I'll show. Those things usually don't happen. And then I think the final thing is you want to play conservative. The only way you really lose to Iowa is turnovers. That's it. And I do think they were in the ear of JJ McCarthy saying, as you know, if you have a dial of extra safe or risky against Ohio State, you're closer to an 8 or 9 towards the risky stage, right? Think about the throw to Cornelius Johnson across the middle of the field on that final drive. It's up to an 8 or 9 on the risky scale. You got to take risks against those teams. Because a team like Iowa, you dial that back down to a 1 or 2. Don't take any necessary risks. That's why we didn't see a pass go for more than 14 yards. I do think J.J. McCarthy was operating at a 1 or 2 when he could have been operating at a 3 or 4, and this game is maybe different. But you combine that conservative play with a couple mistakes through the run game, the pass protection not being great, running backs missing a couple holes, some blocks from your key blockers like Bredesen and Barner. That's a lot of things that aren't going appropriate for you. And you still got to 26 points. Now, a fair number of those were brought on from the defense, but you get my point. So it's never just one thing. I don't think it's an effort thing. I think sometimes you're just off and sometimes you don't have your best game. I would say this was, I think I graded like a C- performance from the offense, and you still won 26-0. So, okay, moving in to the defense here, 1st and 10. For the Hawkeyes here, they take over at the 37 here. I think this is after they got a first down, but back into defense.
Some misdirection on first down. Let's see where they go here. First down at the 37. Williams running left this time, and he will not.
And this is just a Rayshawn Benny play. Rayshawn Benny showing up. He always seems to have a couple plays per game, and shows why he will be one of the players for next year's defense. What do you got here? You got 2 pulls here for Iowa, and there's just not a lot going on here. This is the value that Chris Jenkins brings you. Chris Jenkins right here. They try to put a tight end on him. Watch how much Chris Jenkins controls this. Because you got 2 pullers here. You got your guard pulling. He's trying to get through the gap here. And then you got this other H-back tight end working over to Jalen Harrell. But focus in on what Chris Jenkins does here. He completely obliterates where that hole is supposed to go. So I'm sorry, the guard is the kick out here. So he's kicking out here, pinning Jalen Harrell inside, and then you're bringing your H back. He's supposed to be going through the hole here. But that's not possible because watch what Chris Jenkins does. Engages 86, just blocks up the hole completely. Now, I do think 87 did a poor job here. He should be continuing on and taking on this linebacker, try to form a crease here. But he just kind of stalls out. But that's because Chris Jenkins is just dominating. He's 100% dominating there. So that forces backside, right? Look at the picture here for the running back. Where is he going to go? He probably should go right here if I'm a running back. But you can't really go here. You got a linebacker getting outside. You got outside arm free here, outside arm free here. Possibly you can cut back here. But you got this covered. This is covered. So really your 2 options are here and this crease here. He just doesn't have the vision to see this gap that's forming. And this guy doesn't do a good enough job to clear that. And Rayshawn Benny is just winning on the backside. Let's back up a little bit and watch Rayshawn Benny. Keep his eyes in the backfield, right? And then shift your eyes over. Boom. So he actually did try to go that play side A gap here. He did see this crease. But watch how quickly it closes because Rayshawn Benny shifts sides and gets his eyes in the backfield. And Chris Jenkins still works through this. Still gets through that. That's a big play from Jenkins. Good play from Rayshawn Benny, keeping his eyes in the backfield. Whole defensive line does that exceptionally well, keeping their eyes in the backfield, doing their jobs. And they're just able to win 1-on-1, sometimes 2-on-1 for Chris Jenkins in this play. And Rayshawn Benny, he's maybe your 4th best defensive tackle. Yeah, I'd say 4th best defensive tackle. And he plays at like a Big Ten honorable mention type player. Really good job. All right, 3rd and 12 here. A couple offensive comments here. I'll talk about that next time I cover an offensive play. Marcus and Shadyville. All right, 3rd and 12 here. If my app ever wants to start playing. There we go.
To go to the 47 for first down. They run the reverse. Brown trying to get around the corner, but
It's just a smart play. I really like how Quentin Johnson played this because you have 3-on-3 on the outside, this play is just meant, get this guy to the outside. You win 3 blocks, and you should win this play. 1, 2, 3. Wrong color, but you get what I mean. You're eliminating this bad matchup that you have on the interior, and you're putting your wide receiver on the safety, and you're hoping you can win that battle with 3 blocks. That's what this play design is meant to look at. And Quentin Johnson does a good job. Here you go. Here's your motion. Handoff there. And this is a good play design for man, because you have why am I calling him Josh Ross? I think it's because he's number 12. He's the cornerback, the transfer. Can't think of his name. Josh Wallace. Josh Wallace coming across here, doing a crack replace here, crack block. And your goal here is to take this player out in man coverage, Josh Wallace, on this block coming across. And then the defensive back covering him in man will follow and take himself out, right? Because then you have 1 block here, and that's it. And you can get a 2-for-1 block here. So that's what you're hoping that you can get on this play. And they actually do get that. Mike Sainristil isn't able to see this crack replace. He's too late. He's too late getting out here. So you have what you want on the outside. These blocks are set up pretty well. Like blocked pretty well, getting a block. This is your one guy. And the main thing for Quentin Johnson here is cut off that angle. Cut off that angle and then limit. So this is a key thing for him to fire up this quickly. You need to close this gap. Eliminate the options here. Close this gap and then force him one way or the other. You're going to have help flying to the ball here from the interior. So ideally, use the sideline as your friend. Cut off the inside here and then eliminate the play to the outside. And that's exactly what Quentin Johnson does. He closes that distance. Look how much ground he covers here. As soon as you see number 3 here commit to the outside, boom, he commits. Quentin Johnson, you don't need to take a risk here. This is a key point here. You don't need to take a risk to try to get him down at the line of scrimmage or anything. Maybe you do if it's 3rd and short. But because it's 3rd and 12, you can give up 4 yards. The key thing here is that your guys are getting blocked downfield. You have blocks here. You don't have a lot of help here. So use the sideline as your help. As soon as he commits outside, give up that couple yards. Just make sure he doesn't get anything more than that. And that's exactly what a good safety should do. That's exactly what he does. Limits that to 5 yards or whatever. That's fine. They're going to punt. They're on their own 40. It's 4th and 7, right? It's not a bad play at all. So Quentin Johnson plays a lot more heady as a safety than you would expect someone in with the limited reps that he's had. It's just a smart play. Major holding on number 7 and 89. Let me see. I don't know where number 7 or 89 are. You're probably thinking 48. Yeah, this right here. I don't know if I'd call that holding. Is there a hold? Maybe. They probably could have called it. Usually when a guy's back gets turned like that, like right here, right? Is he getting held? Probably. You probably could call that. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to say because it also looks like you have like some holding going on from Makari Page as well, like this right arm from Makari Page. So I don't know. I think it's probably a good no call. But good play from Quentin Johnson there. That's exactly how he needed to play that. And then you got a punt, and something fun happens on this punt, doesn't it? So get a little jukebox going.
Five-yard line. Morgan at the 10. Morgan inside the 10 makes 2 people miss. Morgan had a steam with a seam. Savage Morgan, watch out! The freshman down the sideline. Morgan knocked out of bounds.
Got to improve that conditioning, right? Got to improve your conditioning. So yeah, first thing, let's give props to number 4. Number 4, he's a gunner. So just watch him this entire play. I'm going to scrub through it pretty quick here. But number 4 is a gunner, gets all the way down, misses that tackle. Jukebox is going to do that. And then he gets up right here. Number 4 gets up right here after sprinting down the field, and he's on a mission. So just keep your eyes on him for this first watch through here. He just gets on his horse from the get-go. Finding his way through traffic. Right here, you kind of have like Quentin Johnson has an opportunity to kind of just get in front of him, but he's like, oh, he's gone. But watch number 4. He's going to continue going. Put this dude in like the 200-meter dash. This dude's got wheels for days. Look at him go. Takes a great angle at the end too. It's a hell of a play. And this is what makes, I think, Iowa special as a team. This is why they win. They have guys who are doing this. And I'll pose this to you, and I don't mean this as a slight to any of the players necessarily. I think it's a culture thing. I think there's a culture thing. Do you think if this happens to anybody on Ohio State, do you think this guy in Ohio State is going to catch up? Maybe he will. Maybe. But I feel like this is just what makes like an Iowa defender. Like this is a safety, you know? Like this is just who Iowa is. That's the most Iowa play I've ever seen. So give him a lot of credit. Now let's focus on Samaj Morgan. I was actually surprised that he was even fielding this because I was like, oh man, like it's right on the border of fair catch or not. Because number 4, to his credit, he's relatively close. So I was like getting a little squirrely watching him return that. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe the first 2 guys miss. I'm like, all right, good decision. And then he does just an exceptional job of setting up his blocks here. He recognizes this is closing up right here. This is probably closing up between these players, this player right here. So then he says, oh, I got to stop and look around. And that's exactly what he does. So he made the first 2 miss. Now he's setting up his blocks well, and he finds where he has an open blocker. He finds his lead blocker. Got a block here, good blocks here, and then boom, you find that crease. So just great vision. And this is partially why I feel like they love him as a screen player is because of that vision. Now, the rest of this play, you just got to get that conditioning, right? Get those wheels, ran out of gas. So hopefully, I mean, he's going to continue in this role moving forward. He just has too much potential there to not. It's just hopefully he gets in better shape for that long speed. That's mainly it. So really good job for Samaj Morgan finding that crease because that can't be understated. This is hard to do, make the first couple guys miss. It's a great job. Really good job. And then I'm more impressed by this, to recognize when to gear down and shift, find your blocks, and then continue on. Nice little subtle high step there to get rid of the punter. And then, yeah, the rest is just, it's going to come for him. Like he's going to find that next gear. But also you just got to applaud number 4's play. Dude never gave up. Hell of a play. So, good job for Samaj Morgan. Could have done a little bit better, but hey man, go for that extra run. Do that extra rep on the track and you'll get there. Excellent play. But yeah, number 4 is a cyborg. Dude went crazy. Did his best Ken Grant impression. That's a great one. So yeah, that was huge. Huge play of the game.
Watch Max Bredesen in front of him. Great blocker, Carl. Max Bredesen in front of him. Great blocker, Carl. Touchdown, Wolverines.
That was second out and goal. I think we got an overhead angle. This will tell us all we need to know. More impressive, Kenneth Grant's rundown versus Penn State or number 4. This rundown from number 4 was everything I love about the Iowa football program. So like maximum effort, from a sheer just human cannot believe my eyes sort of perspective. Kenneth Grant's rundown versus Penn State was exceptional. So, what made me say wow more was Kenneth Grant's rundown. What made me say what a great football player, or what a great football play was number 4, because that's just maximum effort. Okay. This is exactly what you want from this play. You're pulling Keegan, one of your best guard now, your best healthy guard. You got down block, just cut backside. Don't let anything backside here. That's the main modus operandi. I don't even know that term. You know what I'm trying to say. Don't let anyone through on the backside. Down block Henderson, down block Barner. Follow this path. Take this out right here. Your pull for Keegan. Take out the edge defender. And then who you got left? You got one guy. Find him. If you're Max Bredesen, go find him and follow him if you're Corum. That's the play. Good blocks, play side. Look at the tight ends. Really good job. Good job here. Trevor Keegan's going to find his block. So boom, everyone did their job at this point. And then it's just about good luck against Max Bredesen. Good luck. Boom. There's your crease. Good job from Loveland continuing on his block into the end zone. But yeah, just follow 44. Follow 44. Notice which side this player is taking on this block and go off that other hip. That's it. Get low, get your shoulders low at that point, right? Expect contact. You're in the end zone. Pretty simple. Hard to stop with a guy like Max Bredesen and Blake Corum. And that's pretty much it. 3rd and 3 here for Iowa. Trying to drive. They're close to midfield. Haven't done much on offense. They're not going to. Sorry, not to spoil.
3. Hill looking. Sideline, almost intercepted.
Just a late throw and a dangerous one. Dangerous throw at that. Nothing special on the outside. Simple hitch. And Sainer-Still's on it. So, I mean, you're just boom, boom. And Sainer-Still is reacting to that. Look for the eyes here. I don't even really know what Deacon Hill is looking at. It seems like you have a crossing pattern coming here, but you have 2 linebackers here in coverage picking that up. So if we back up here and look at Deacon Hill's eyes, he quickly looks over here. This was his first read, looking over here. And then he's shifting over towards the middle, probably to see if this is going to be open. And then his final option is over here. If you want this pass to be on time, this probably needs to be your second read. Being like your third read where he went first, second, third, he's not even looking over here yet. So by the time this ball needs to be starting to be thrown now, like it needs to be almost on its way right now. And instead it's on its way here. So that's just an extra second or so that gives Sainer-Still that time to react to that pass. So that's dangerous for Deacon Hill. Obviously not a great quarterback. I'm not trying to, diss on the player or anything, but you look at any advanced statistics, anything really, just not the best. Also, I didn't notice this, but you got a cutout of Tom Brady staring right here, which is pretty funny. Sainer-Still almost gets that. He reacts pretty well to this. I like how when he recognizes the route, you can see the eyes now for Sainer-Still shift over. And I think he initially looked at the eyes here once he committed to that. And then he looked at the quarterback to make sure to try to locate the ball. And then he does and almost picks it off. Really, really close. Really good play. Good reaction. Oh, that would have been 3 turnovers that he caused on this day. I love this. This angle's perfect because you see Steve Klingscale, DB's coach, as well reacting to this. I think that's Grant Newsome, maybe not. Also motioning Michigan's ball. Great reaction to this play. Great reaction. Almost got there. Played that about as well as you could. So, yeah, great play. All right, Michigan back on offense. There were a couple offensive questions I saw in the chat here. 26-0 at C- means they would have won 42-0 and A, close to my prediction. I think I predicted 31-9. I don't know where I got that 9 from. I guess I expected there to be a little bit more pizzazz, which is a stupid thing to say going up against Iowa. But I did expect a little bit more from the offense. But yeah, I agree with that comment, Marcus. And then Shadyville, Mullings, and Edwards should have gotten more carries. Watching live, I thought they were running better. Box score says also 5 yards per carry for Mullings, 7 for Edwards. Yeah, I mean, it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. I do want to see more of Mullings running the ball because I think he has tremendous upside. All right, 3rd and 12, midway through the second quarter here. Any day now application. There we go.
McCarthy steps up in the pocket, moving around, and it'll go down.
Gotta throw this ball if you're JJ McCarthy. Remember what I said earlier where I felt that the play it safe was kind of in the head of JJ McCarthy, right? I said like it was an 8 or 9 towards the risky scale of how to play for JJ McCarthy, and this was towards like a 1 or 2 for JJ McCarthy. I think this play is one that best exemplifies that. You need to get this ball out to AJ Barner. And I can recognize it's 3rd and 12, and you want to get the full 12 yards. So to me, this is a man beater route. What do I mean by a man beater route? You are clearing out through your 2 routes sort of in this trips look that you have. You have a deeper sort of in route, and then you have what I believe just to be up the seam here for Roma Wilson. And this is going to clear out your defensive backs. You have a matchup here with Barner that you really like. You're going to send him to the inside, and then this acts as a little rub right here, right around this area. And then you send, I think it's like a whip route for Barner. And you sending this out there, right? You're dropping these safeties back. It's cover 2 again, but cover 2 man. So this is going to clear out the bodies here for the linebacker that is on Barner. And you like Barner on this route to win in man coverage. So if we move forward a little bit, let's focus on the routes first. Barner wins that. If he gets the ball right here, this is a nice path because you still have Cornelius Johnson on this deep post taking this out. The best chance for Iowa to stop this short of a first down is one of these safeties that just got off screen here. But look at where the linebacker is. He's still trying to get off of his initial movement this way and get out that way where you have Barner ready to go. So I don't know where the hesitancy. I get it. And now we can shift our focus to the pass protection. Not a great job here. Oh, sorry. Hold on. We need to block that user. I don't mean to do that. Delete that comment. Okay. Let's go back to the pass protection. Not a great job from Ladarius Henderson. Focus in on him, our left tackle. It's not doing a great job. You get JJ McCarthy out of his rhythm. He has to step up here. Rest of the protection does a good job. This is not a good job. So that throws JJ McCarthy off a little bit with his timing. At this point, you still need to deliver the ball. You're past the pressure. This is still open. Number 4 is still behind. You throw this ball here, you still got plenty of room. There's no reason to be waiting at this point. You got up in the pocket. You avoided the pressure. Throw the ball. I don't know what he's attempting to do here. If you throw this ball in front and on time, he'll still make this play. So you see this hand motion for JJ McCarthy. He's wanting AJ Barner to cut upfield here. That's what he's trying to motion. But to me, there's no reason to. There's no reason to. Deliver that ball. Let him do this motion after he catches. So I just disagree with JJ McCarthy's decision-making here to not throw this ball and to try to get him to go upfield. He doesn't have time for that. And he's focused on AJ Barner. He doesn't see the imminent threat of the other linebacker blitzing here. So he definitely wanted Barner to turn up here so he could deliver a ball down the sideline, but there's no reason not to deliver the ball to him right now. And then once he makes the catch right here, then he can turn up. There's enough room here. There's enough separation between number 4 and Barner for this catch to be made and then turn upfield for a first down. Just not the appropriate play, in my opinion. If we shift to the other view, the other view doesn't really show anything except for the downfield routes. And the broadcast was like, oh, look, everyone was covered up. Where it's like, okay, that's not – or I'm sorry, this is Tyler Morris. Cornelius Johnson was to the other side. where it's like none of these routes were meant to be thrown to. This is where it was meant to be thrown to. So sure, the coverage is great, but these routes were meant to look how far off this safety is. Look how far off the safety is, because this route is just to occupy 2 defenders. It's just a runoff. So anyway, you just got to throw it to Barner here. Trust that your guy will make a play. I get it. Step up right here, deliver that ball. He'll make that play right now. If you're already throwing that ball, he'll make that play. And he might still be running. So I don't know what he was waiting for. This was, to me, the biggest missed opportunity in the game. 1 of 2, probably. Okay, moving back onto defense for Michigan. 9 minutes left, 1st and 10. I think Michigan punted, right? And it was a touchback. So this is Iowa back on defense. Here we go.
As a corner, Iowa's best offensive player. 1st down and 10 at the 20. And the Hawkeyes.
I mean, I just don't know what they're expecting at this point. I don't know what they're expecting. I mean, like you got to shift something on the offensive line. When you see this much pressure, you got a couple guys free releasing. I mean, I truly don't understand what is the point of this play. I can't even really break down this play because I don't understand what's happening. You're free releasing 4 offensive line, so 3 offensive linemen, 1, 2, 3, and then 82, and you're free releasing 4 of them to the second level against 2 linebackers. I mean, I get it. You're maybe not expecting Michigan to be bringing everybody, right? You're maybe expecting a couple guys to be dropping back here. But what happens if they do send them all? What happens then? And Michigan does. And now you're dead. So it's not even a thing of like, I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. You have 1 guy holding a block, 2 guys. You have 2 guys holding blocks. 1, 2. This guy loses against Chris Jenkins. This center already let, who is this? Kenneth Grant into the backfield. And you just completely let Derek Moore, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, and Jalen Harrell. These 4 are in the backfield. I don't know. That's the best clip. If you want to say what is wrong with Iowa's offense, tell me what is this? What am I looking at? Ferentz is just on another level. I mean, yeah, that I'm going to leave it at that. I don't get it. And I try to get it on most plays. That one, I don't understand. Shadyville, that's what I was initially thinking. It seems like it was like you only free release like this, right? You only let guys pass on the defensive line if you expect it to be a screen. Like that would have made sense. But like no one in the backfield is expecting that. I mean, this fullback just does a terrible job of any sort of block. And obviously he doesn't think it's going to be a screen. He's running like it's a run play as well. So I have no idea. I just don't know. And I'm going to move on because it hurts my head. I feel for you, Iowa fans. I know none of them are probably watching this, but in principle, I feel for you because that is just a rough look. Just a rough look.
At the 19. Hill. With time over the middle, incomplete.
What have we said all year about tip passes? Tip passes. Boom. If it doesn't hit your hand, hits your head. What we said all year is if you're not going to make it to the quarterback, Mason Graham not making it to the quarterback on this play, reach up and go for it. And he at least tips it with his head, and you can see that affects where the ball ends up. It's on the back shoulder here. of your wide receiver. So we don't really get a better angle of this play other than just this sideline angle. This is the second read here for Deacon Hill. He sees man coverage. You got single high safety. Man. Cover one. Doesn't like what he sees on the outside here. This is like a 1 read, 2 read, get the ball out against this pass rush for Michigan. Decent pocket and not a bad option here. 89, had a little bit of separation there on Jay McBurrows. A little bit. Not a whole lot. It's good defense. But the ball being tipped at the line of scrimmage from Mason Graham's dome, that's going to pass. That's going to break up that pass. So just a great job. You're not going to make it to the quarterback. Get your hands up. So that's a good job. That affects the play a ton. Graham took quite a spill. Let's see. Graham 55 here. Jumps. Yeah, I mean, you put yourself at that risk. You jump up. You're going to get some hands to the chest here. You're going to get bowled over. Good recognition here. I think that's Derek Moore. Or is that Stewart? I think that's Josiah Stewart. Helping Graham fall gracefully after that. So it's a good job recognizing that, kind of catching him on the way down. Good play. Good job for Mason Graham. Way to use your head. Haha. He. Okay. Back on offense here. 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines.
Every snap, and they do a great job of it. 2nd and 10 at the 28. Corum.
Good, stout linebacker play. Probably some of the best linebacker play that we've seen this year. But this was a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. And while this is a good linebacker play, it's more on a miss from your right tackle. And Trent Jones, when he gets on his block, he's great. But getting off of his block and getting to the second level, I think that's a big area for improvement over the next couple weeks. You get a great block here. Great combo from Barnhart and Trent Jones. They do work. They get a lot of good movement here. But Trent Jones does a little bit too much, because what's Trent Jones' job? Double here, reach out to your middle linebacker. Single block here. You're pulling Keegan. He's going off the butt here of Trent Jones to pick up 34. And then you're golden. You're golden. He's out of the play. You don't need to block him. So he's out. 1-on-1 block here. 1-on-1 block here. And then you have the numbers. If you count the bodies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You pick up your blocks, you're golden here. Issue, watch that double. Trent Jones, Barnhart. Good movement here. Really good movement. Trent Jones, get off of that. Get to this linebacker. Get to him. Should do that. But Trent Jones just gets too much into that block. He's not able to shift over here to that linebacker on that block. He's the one who makes the play. He makes the play. Keegan does his job. He's expecting this linebacker to be taken from Trent Jones. He is targeting this guy. 34 is unblocked. Keegan's doing the right thing here. You just need Trent Jones to do that. Think for a minute right now. If Trent Jones is getting that block, what do you have? Threaten here. Trent Jones picks up this block. Boom. There's your crease. He's not going to be able to get across quickly enough on that. You're one-on-one against this safety. Got a block set up here from on the outside from Tyler Morris. These guys are essentially out of the play as well. So if you're able to get this and you have Keegan in position on this linebacker behind this block, you're gone. You're gone. And that's sort of the patience that you see out of Corum. Out of this, it's continue, boom, hit that. And he's not able to do that because Trent Jones doesn't pick that up. Look at where this hole is, right? Look at this. If Trent Jones is not too far upfield, he gets off this block sooner, is able to redirect and boom, pick this up. It's a huge play. Could have been a home run because you look at this, boom. I like Blake Corum in that. So when people look at this game and say it was like, oh, it's an F offense, I tweeted out that I thought it was a C-. He still got in the end zone. He still converted It wasn't an abject failure like an F was, but you were close. You were close. You hit one of these. This game's what, a B? It's just the perception because you were close on so many plays. That's a big one for Trent Jones because you had what you wanted on the rest of the blocks there. Okay, 3rd and 10 here. Michigan on their own 29 is a little bit later in the second quarter. Come on.
McCarthy with time. Now under pressure. He's got to make a decision. Goes down.
And I mean, I think Trevor brought it up where we still don't have a throwaway for JJ McCarthy. Still to this day, we get man coverage. I feel like, I don't know if we have a better view here. Yeah, we do. You got to throw this ball to Colson Loveland. You got to throw this ball right now. Colson Loveland, man-to-man coverage. Throw it low. Make him go down and get it. It's a tough play here. I don't know where JJ McCarthy is really looking here. But right here, when he senses this pressure, he's starting to sense it. You got 49 looping here. You have this guy winning. The pass protection has been good enough up until this point. That internal clock should say, get the ball out. This is probably your best option. Now, the eyes of JJ McCarthy are right here. So it seems like he's hoping that there's something going to be open there. At least give somebody a chance right now because I get it. He wants to continue to make a play, right? Do his little rope-a-dope, whatever. But with this offensive line, especially where it is now, you need to accept that, hey, I got to throw it up here, back shoulder or something, and try to get my receiver to make a play on it. I need to throw it low here to try to get Colson Loveland the ability to come back and get that. Or, man, just toss it away. Like, throw it over here. You just have to. And in this game, does it really matter? No, because it's Iowa. But against Bama, against Washington or Texas in the championship, that extra 15 yards or 10 yards, whatever, that's going to matter in field position. You just got to be smarter. You can't make it happen on every play. Sometimes you get got. So I get it. He wants to be able to make the play, and this is why sometimes we love JJ McCarthy, is because he can make something out of nothing. Sometimes he can do that, but not all the time. And knowing when he's able to do that, when he's not, that's the one of the last areas for growth for him. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap this up quickly. I know we got a basketball game coming up. I got 6 plays or so I'm going to try to speed through these a little bit. If my app will let me.
Play fake. Hill rolling out of the pocket, throws on the move, has his man, a loose ball. Michigan's got it. But was it a catch?
What a great job. What a great job. Oh, this is a good point, Seattle Steve. I get it. But you could still throw it away. Right, Seattle Steve? You could. So I get it. It's better to take a sack than risk a turnover. But I still think there are places you can throw it to only give your wide receiver a chance. And he wants to make the perfect play instead of a low percentage play. So I do get that. You're not wrong. What a play here from Mike Sanderstill. Just a heady play, recognizes where the play is going, and just get low. How hard is this to defend? How hard is this play to defend? To make that tackle is really tough in space. To force a fumble here, to get low like that, exceptional. So difficult to do. Perfect hit. Perfect hit. Really good job. And you're right. That's a good call out from Shadyville. This rush here for Makari Page, this is great. You take out that running back, force this play to be a little bit later developing. You're not able to get that ball out quickly because Makari Page rushes the quarterback. So that just, even if this isn't a fumble, it's probably still a fourth down. To limit that to 1 yard, it's an exceptional play in it of itself. But then to go low, make contact that low, and to force a fumble. I mean, there's a reason he was the MVP of the game. You could call him the MVP of the entire team, and I probably wouldn't disagree with you. He's an exceptional player, one of the most valuable for this team the last 2 years. He's an exceptional player. Can't say enough about Mike Sanders still. He's going to go down as, I've said it last week, I said it weeks prior, he's going to go down as my favorite Wolverine ever. I truly think he is. All right, 1st and 10 for Michigan here. 5 minutes left in the half. Come on. Come on.
The expensive glasses. Here's a handoff. Coral. I'll tell you that. Not
a lot to. I almost didn't want to clip this, because how often do you see Max Bredesen missing a block? Max Bredesen, I just don't know what he's looking at here. He's trying to ID something here, and then watch the oh shit moment where then he's like, oh, I need to get the outside. He's going to have that oh shit moment. Ready? There it is. Oh shit. And then he's not able to get over to it. That's what causes that play, right? That's what causes this play to fail. If you get this block on the outside here, this is just zone blocking up front. Zone block. Everyone's just zone blocking. If you get this block, again, Corum can either hit this hole between Loveland and Bredesen on this block right here. He can just, boom, hit that. He can, if this block is gotten right here, he can threaten this and then boom, cut to the outside. There's so much you can do. So much. There's so much space out there. And then again, it's one-on-one against the safety at that point. If this block is picked up, I bet this was the path. You take out this block, you go boom, boom, and you get to the outside. The safety's trying to track you down. Would it have been a big play? I don't know. But that lack of block is what allowed the rest of the defense to flow to that. So again, when people are saying like, oh, you couldn't run on him, you couldn't do anything, you had what you wanted. You just missed one key block there. And you hit one of these and the game feels extremely different. And Michigan hit about 0 of them. Okay, moving on to 3rd and 5 here. 3rd and 5. Come on. Any day.
Hill. That one deflected and incomplete.
I mean, what a great get off here for Josiah Stewart. And he's so nimble. This impressed me more than anything else. His ability to work through. I mean, this tackle needs to do a better job. This tackle is just working to get outside here because this is just a screen pass to your outside receiver. But you need to at least chip Josiah Stewart because he's just too quick. He gets to the quarterback, right? There's no resistance. He's able to slip through there, get his hands up, and deflect that pass. Just a great job. Everyone was, this whole defensive line, we've said it week in, week out, how good they are at getting their hands up. We saw early in this game, Mason Graham, all throughout the year. Mike Elston may be Michigan's best position coach. Crazy to say because Michigan has a great host of position coaches. But how many passes this year compared to previous years do we see the defensive line affecting passes? It is damn near 4 or 5 times a game. And those are huge plays. Absolutely huge plays. Now, do I think this play was like exceptionally well set up for Brown on this screen? No. You got Keon Sabb coming over here. Josh Wallace probably would have beaten his block. So I don't think it would have been a huge play without this, but it's just an exceptional job from Josiah Stewart, able to get to the quarterback that quickly. He's an athlete. Exceptional player. You got to give Nua some credit because he did bring in some dudes. He did bring in some guys to this defensive line. So I think he had a slower start, and I think there was a lot of rumors and Nua and Don Brown not seeing eye to eye about recruiting and things like that. So I don't think Nua is necessarily a bad coach, but I just want to focus on how good Mike Elston is as a defensive line coach. He's just done a really good job improving pretty much everyone on this defensive line.
back and force.
All right, 2nd and 3.
Offenses to be patient and throw underneath. 2nd down to 3. There's an underneath throw for Donovan Edwards.
I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I don't know why we didn't see more of this. If they want to drop back into zone, I think they're actually in man here. But anyway, just deliver this ball to Donovan Edwards. I feel like we've said it time and time again, like they're going to find a way to get him involved more, get Donovan Edwards. They're going to have things for him. They're going to have a bunch of stuff for him. I mean, a couple things. I felt like they were always bringing him instead of 5 wide, right? They were always bringing him back in and then sending him out over like this, where like send him down the sideline. Send him down the sideline. I gotta feel like they still have a ton of that for Donovan Edwards that they haven't unveiled yet, because what are you going to unveil against Iowa? But even so, make them pay for that. And we didn't see a whole lot of these throws to Donovan Edwards. And I was like banging my head against the wall. Like, you got to do it, because that's just money. That's just there all day. So anyway, and then let's get into 3rd and 6 here. We got 3 more plays here. I know we're getting into basketball game time, so 3 more plays of the first half that we'll cover.
McCarthy. Underneath, incomplete, Loveland.
And I mean, like I said, there were a myriad of just little things that made this game a lot closer than it should have been. And this is probably paramount. Perfect throw. Perfect throw. I mean, what more is there to say? Loveland's been money all year. Some of the best hands on the team. I mean, you catch that. Does this guy make a tackle? Maybe. Maybe not. But he catches this in stride, and you're probably looking at least to the 40. I'd bet probably to the 30 if the safety's able to get over there. But man, that's tough. That's a tough look, because that ball is exactly where it needs to be. You cannot place that ball any better than where it was. I felt like there was even a better angle of this. Give me a sec. See if there's a better angle of this if I extend out. Maybe not. Maybe not. Buffer. I need a new computer. That's what I'm going to do this offseason, is get a better computer. No. Oh, here we go. Oh, that hurts the soul, man. Boom. Oh, got to catch that. Got to catch that ball. So that hurts, man. That is just a tough drop at a tough time, because if he catches that, you're getting a field goal, maybe even a touchdown on that drive. Instead, that's 4th down, and you got to punt. All right. Morris runs route. He's like Ronnie Bell out there, man. Reminds me of Ronnie Bell. Glad that drop didn't come against OSU. Yeah. I'm prepared to give him a drop in the biggest layup of the season. I'm prepared to give him a drop in the biggest layup of the season. I mean, he's been great all year. I'll let him do that. You know, if this is when that drop comes, so be it. And that's kind of how I felt about this game. Like, if there's time for things to be going wrong, you know, like, and I feel like I always say, if you're going to make mistakes, making them in a comfortable win is the time to do it. You never want to make mistakes, but making them when they don't cost you the game, when you still got that win on the column and you still got that number 1 ranking, fine. Put it on film, correct it, have those correctable things for the next couple of weeks. It's okay. Obviously, you want everything to be perfect, but not everything is going to be perfect. And I feel like Michigan is a lot closer to absolutely boat racing Iowa than they did. Okay, 2 more plays here.
Hill in trouble and sack.
Jalen Harrell, man. Jalen Harrell. What more do I got to say? This dude is like, I feel like he started this year. He he started this year as a guy we expected to have a high floor, be like a 7th rounder, maybe undrafted free agent, and stick around maybe a couple years in the league. Now he's turned into a player where I'd be surprised if he wasn't drafted in like the 5th round, because he's so heady, so dependable in the run game. And then he's just winning on a lot of these pass rushes. I understand there's a lot of different things the defensive line is doing. You got a lot of guys in Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Chris Jenkins to pay attention to. But who's the guy winning? Who's the guy winning on pass rush more often than not, or just making the play week over week? More often than not, it's Jalen Harrell. I feel like it's kind of like the Mike Sainristil thing, where it's like you don't expect this guy to really be making the plays that he does all that much, and then he's just there all the time. And Jalen Harrell is just there all the time. He just straight up, there's nothing special about this one. He just straight up beats 78. Now, I don't think 78 is necessarily a great tackle, but I mean, this is good technique. You look at the handwork here from Jalen Harrell, really good job when that left hand is on the chest for the Iowa player. Watch what Jalen Harrell does with his right. He grabs that hand with the right, peels it, right? He gets his left arm under, and then he's peeling with that right arm, saying disengage. And then once he gets around that corner, boom, you're there. Really good job. He's just going to be a solid player. His floor is so high week in, week out. He just makes plays. He is a really safe pick. And that doesn't always mean that you're going to get drafted high. I don't feel like he'll be drafted above the 4th round, but I don't think they'll let him get past the 6th. I don't. I think he's a 5th round player. Huge to have a guy, exceptional college player, so dependable. He's probably one of the coach's favorite because he does his job. He's done his job exceptionally well year in, year out. Huge player for this team. All right. And unfortunately, we're going to end with a bad play because this is the last play of the first half, and it's going to be a sack. But hey, man, it is what it is. All right. I can't, they're not always going to be great. But okay, last play of the first half. Come on. Any day.
JJ McCarthy steps up, sacked again.
All right. The other ones where I was like, okay, it's on JJ McCarthy. This one's not on JJ McCarthy. This is just a miss in the pass protection. Just a miss. How could this have been handled better? I think there's just a good stunt. Sometimes the defense just makes a good play and you have to hat tip a little bit. Henderson, I think, could have had his eyes inside a little bit better for this pass off, because the stunt for Iowa is go to the outside here with a defensive tackle, loop to the inside defensive end. Not that complex of a twist, but you're trying to pass off here from Keegan to Henderson. Henderson needs to keep his eyes to the inside, at least have an awareness that this could be coming to help Keegan with this, because Keegan is going to be looking to pick up the looper. So I think the eyes of Henderson need to do a little bit better. And I think that's the primary issue. I think Henderson was a little bit worried about getting beat to the outside. Saw a couple plays earlier where the pass protection wasn't great in that regard, and he wasn't keeping his eyes appropriately towards the inside in the case of a stunt. So I think it's mainly on Henderson, not able to pick that up. And when you give that direct of a path to the quarterback, it's trouble. And it was trouble for JJ McCarthy. So it's not a great end to the half. You feel like you should be up probably 17 or 20-0. It was hilarious. I was sitting next to an Iowa fan at this game, and he was like a 55-year-old dad or whatever. And he was just nodding his head at the end of the half. And he was just like, got him right where we want him. And I just started laughing because I'm like, dude, it's 10-0. It's 10-0. Like, you did about as good as you could. I'll give you that. You did about as good as you could, more than I was expecting out of Iowa. I expected it to be a slog, but like 17-0 slog. So anyway, not the prettiest first half. Frustrating, a slog. This is a game where I didn't have a whole lot of fun watching it. I don't feel like it's that fun analyzing it. But upon second look, it seems like it is a lot closer than it felt on initial watch. A couple of these runs were really close. Colson Loveland catches that ball. It's close. J.J. McCarthy makes a couple decisions instead of playing ultra conservative and taking the sack, instead of maybe hitting a guy here or there on third down and takes a sack. Makes it feel a lot worse than it was. So first half was all right. We'll be back probably tomorrow. So let's say tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the second half. MichiganRivals.com. Come over to the Den. Josh is posting a bunch of really, really interesting tidbits on recruiting. Throw a like on the video. Subscribe. If you can throw a like on the video before you take off, I would appreciate it. Helps the channel grow in the YouTube algorithm, all of that good stuff. And then join me tomorrow at 8. Send it to a friend. I will see you there. Thank you, Shadyville John, Michigan Lover 12, Tyler, Jay Zeb. Thank you all for showing up. Seattle Steve, Marcus, thank you for your comments. Thanks for joining. And it means a lot for you guys to be hanging out. So have a good rest of your night. Let's tune into the basketball game and hopefully not be disappointed. Knock on wood. And we'll talk tomorrow. All right, go Blue.